if we could get a nice exit here. Oh dear, what's... Welcome to sunny Hockenheim, where perfect July weather invites us to round 6 of the 1991 Formula 1 season in Automobilista 2. Conditions couldn't be better for the slipstream battles we expect through the long forest straights. In the real 1991 season, it was yet again a Williams-dominated race as their momentum was getting stronger and stronger, with Senna again running out of fuel on the last lap, being classified one lap down and out of the points. Earlier, he came together with his longtime rival Alain Prost, which led to a DNF for the Frenchman, who almost got a Ron race ban for his statement in the interviews after the race when he said he wouldn't be as forgiving to Senna in the next race, which was taken as a threat to take Senna out in the next battle. Not that these two didn't have a history of crashing into each other on purpose. For Pierluigi Martini, who qualified an awesome 10th in his Minardi, that race was a big disappointment, as it was over after just 10 laps with the differential issue. Back to our version of 1991, where this one is maybe one of the big chances to achieve our goal of finishing on the podium with a Minardi, as the high-speed nature of this track should suit our V12 engine car perfectly that has proven to be one of the fastest on the straights. Also, the Hockenheimring is my personal home turf. You don't get much closer to a home race than this one unless you're Charles Leclerc. So I'm going very ambitious with this one today, as I say, today is the day we finish on the podium with Martini. And as I already said, it helps that Martini qualified in the top 10 for the German Grand Prix, that of course Ayrton Senna will start from pole position. On the second page you will see a new name appearing, as well as Olivier Gruyère in the Fond Metal Ford has qualified for a Grand Prix for the first time this season. And now, let's head trackside to make this Minardi's greatest day on a racetrack. Well, and here we are, waiting for the lights to go out at Hockenheim, and away we are for the German Grand Prix 1991. Oh, it's a very poor start for Gerhard Berger, who drops down several places. We are trying to get past the Tyrrell of Stefano Modena into turn 1. However, it is Roberto Moreno who's trying to get past us. We gain one spot, that was Gerhard Berger. Oh, Modena is slow on the straight, so up another one we go. Past PK we go. The V8's really struggling into the forest on the first straight. First chicane here of 3 that separates the very fast bits here through the Hartwald, which is how this forest is called. Little local knowledge here, as we have lost out a bit to the Jordan of Andrea De Cesaris. Through the Ostkurve we go. This chicane is a very tricky one. An awful configuration of this chicane, I may add, out of the Ostkurve there. Horrible with that tire wall. Almost blocking the apex of this one. That final chicane, much more flowing, much more pleasant. Not the biggest braking zone though. And then we already head back towards the stadium section. The Cesaris trying to attack the Ferrari of Jean Lazy, backs out of that one. As through the stadium section we go, and this is probably the part of the track where we're not that quick. Still, we're sticking with the Jordan, so this is looking okay so far. Now that double apex right-hander that brings us back to the start-finish straight. I know there we've lost a bit to Alesi and De Cesaris, but now this is the part where we should be quick again, and De Cesaris compromised his exit out of the Nordkurve, which could be an opportunity for us. Not into the first chicane, they're still battling, and I think now De Cesaris might have done it. Oh, Alesi's late on the brakes on the outsides. He's forcing his way alongside. There is contact between the two of them. De Cesaris runs wide at the exit, and that is our opportunity. Up to P6 we go, and immediately we are in the point scoring positions, and this is just lap 2 of 23. And this is far from over, as alongside Lazy we go to that awkward second chicane, but we wisely back out of that one because we were heading straight to the tire wall there that I mentioned earlier, and as we've seen in that battle against the Cesaris, Lazy is taking no prisoners today. So, final chicane already. If we could get a nice exit here. Oh dear, oh my word, that was super close. We almost caused a major crash there by running into the rear wing of Lazy, as the Williams have created a roadblock at the second half of the third chicane. And let's look at the replay of what happens here. So this is Mansell leading his teammate into the chicane. Patrese passes him, and oh, I think there's a little bump from Mansell into the diffuser of his teammate, and there you can see we just avoid that. The others just brake in time, but sensationally, that incident, of course, we passed a lot of cars off track, but that was just to avoid a collision there. We're up to P2. We briefly were up into P1, but Mansell was the first one to leave the scene of the accident. And you may have seen it already in my mirrors. We are now hunted down by Ayrton Senna. We are up to the podium spots already, but it will be tough to stay there. Especially, yeah, I'm checking the mirrors and he definitely is there for the first time. We have to defend now against the great Ayrton Senna. Well, we had a battle with him at Silverstone. There we gave the position up. This time I wasn't going to give the position up, but yeah, I missed the apex of the entry to the Motordrome there. And then, again, an easy pass for Senna. And down to third. Now, to achieve the goal of finishing on the podium, we cannot give another position away. And you can see already Senna is chasing after his championship rival. And I think the good news for Ayrton Senna is now that I don't think after that incident Patrese will be happy to support Mansell in his championship push that year. Because he, I could imagine, will be quite mad with his teammates. Patrese had to retire after that situation, but this is nothing of our concern. I should be, and I am, much more concerned of what maybe you were able to see there in my rearview mirrors. And that is the Cesaris is there. You're able to see bits of the green front wing. The Cesaris aiming for a second consecutive and third total podium finish for the brand new Jordan team, which is taking Formula 1 by storm. Into the third chicane, and the pressure is on. I will try to not make it too easy for the Cesaris, but he is able to go quicker right now, and you can see it there. We're defending the inside this time. Let's just not miss the apex. That worked much better. And then here, the stadium section. It is kind of easy to defend there because it's so tight and you can just drive in the middle of the road, and then there is pretty much no way past. So we just need to take care that we don't offer him an opportunity there. And then on the long straights, we should have the straight line speed advantage. Or he tries it into the Nord Curve. We leave him the space, but there's just no way by unless you're properly alongside. Let's jump ahead in the race a bit. This is a lap later, and again, well, the slipstream is helping him. We cannot rely on the straight line speed of the V12 Ferrari engine, and then I'm even a bit early on the brakes, and the Cesaris moves past. Well, Senna is off and gone, and we cannot allow the Cesaris to follow him. And immediately you can see when we get the slipstream, we are much quicker. I don't know what I was thinking there, trying to get down the inside, but there's just no point on trying any move on the outside because straight into the tire wall we go. I have poor memories of that corner. Just rewatch the season finale of my DTM 1992 season in Automobilista 2. Third chicane, we're getting... we were getting a good run, but then I catch too much curb on the outside, kind of grinding on the exit curb. However, we still get an opportunity. We are alongside on the inside, but the Cesaris bravely hangs it around the outside and stays in P3. The good news is we're staying with him. The bad news is this is now the part of the track which doesn't suit the car, doesn't suit my driving. The one where I actually need to do something. Doesn't speak of my qualities as a driver, but we're just glossing over this because already it is over. Turn 1, and now it's speed and power, and we have plenty of that, and we need it because there are a couple of car lengths now between the Jordan and me. And we are gaining, though the power of the slipstream is not too powerful. That's a lot of power on one straight. However, we are gaining through the first chicane, and now the effects of the slipstream should be much more pronounced as once again we go towards the second chicane. We are getting closer, 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 but we won't be close enough to try anything. I still show myself in his mirrors, putting the pressure on. We have seen a lot of mistakes for a Jordan driver at Silverstone. That was the Cesaris teammate though, but the Cesaris is error prone a bit throughout his Formula 1 career. Sometimes he was rudely called Andrea the Crasheris, and I mean, yes, they had a lot of accidents, but I think sometimes he's a bit underrated. The Cesaris, especially in the beginning of his career in the 80s, has shown a lot of potential. Sadly, the success never came. In 1982, he led big portions of the Long Beach Grand Prix in an Alfa Romeo, so he definitely had a lot of talent, and he's putting a bit of distance between himself and us through the Motordrome again. But oh, this is a good run we're getting through the first corner there, whilst the Cesaris missed the apex a bit there. But again, we will need the Forest Straights to catch up to him. But catching up is not enough. We need to get past that Jordan once again. Because all it takes now is one little mistake from my side and he will be gone. That was a very good run for us, a poor run for the Cesaris. And now, there might even be an opportunity ahead of the second chicane. And when I say ahead, I properly mean ahead, because we are past, we block the inside there. No shenanigans into that corner. And up to P3 we are again. And I am absolutely determined now to not give that one away. Easier said than done though. But I need to be absolutely aware of the spots where he might attack us. This is the first chicane. We should be safe into the second one. I don't think he's stupid enough to try anything into there. And maybe then this one could also be a risk. He's not there yet, but this is where Senna passed us earlier. And then Motordrome again. I'm applying the tactic of just approaching the Sachs curve in the middle of the road, and then look at that. There is no way to overtake here. Which is always a shame. I'm often at Hockenheim, and most of the seats are at the Motordrome because the new Mercedes grandstand is closed a lot of the time. And then you're sitting there where actually not a lot of action is taking place. But I'm drifting off topic a bit here. So let's focus back on the battle we're having with Andrea the Cesaris. This time I learned from my mistakes. I hug the inside line there to force him the long way, and there is just no way by on the outside. and we stay ahead of Andrea the Cesaris. And again, it's a bit tough to properly watch a battle from the inside of a cockpit, so let me show you a bit from the trackside action. This is lap 14, as you can see, and again, very early I choose the inside line. Here I feel a bit too safe as I'm going back on the outside, and Andrea says, well, okay, if you allow it, I will try the inside. I'm later on the brakes though, which is the only advantage the outside line provides you there. You can brake a bit later, get the better angle into the corner, but, well, I was not aware that Andrea de Cesaris might be trying that. Into turn 1, he is close, he got a good run out of the final corner. We leave him the space on the inside, and yeah, we stay ahead, but that was a brave move by the Cesaris, and you can see he's getting more and more desperate. Now, this is the entry of the Motordrome, where Senna passed us, and again, he was having a little look there. Again, I'm just staying in the middle of the road, and that works for now and still, and this has been going on for a lot of laps, but I think at this point of the race it was especially pronounced. The Cesaris was really desperate to try and finally get past, and in the background you can see why. Gerhard Berger is catching up to us. He has recovered from his poor start and is back up into P5. So, in a couple of laps, this might be a three-way fight for the final step on the podium. And again, the Cesaris into the forest. First chicane is coming up. We stay on the outside a bit longer this time. Only very late I go for the inside. The Cesaris is trying it again. He's trying to get alongside. And again, he does not force a move for now. But still, 7 laps to go. Now, this is the beginning of lap 18. And you can still see the green front wing in my mirrors. And again, always, it is the run to the first chicane where I feel we're most vulnerable. Again, I'm going very early to the insides, but this time the Cesaris, it feels like he's a bit closer. This time, well, he backs out a bit only to brake a lot later. He was properly alongside there, but still, he is not trying to force his way by. He's not doing what Alesi did to him in lap 2 when they almost made contact. Almost a Hamilton-Verstappen incident they had there. Hamilton-Verstappen in Monza 2021. Need to be a bit more specific with the Hamilton-Verstappen incidents because there's been plenty of them. Looking forward to this season. Maybe there's more. But let's look at someone who is having a much more relaxed afternoon compared to us. This is Nigel Mansell, still in the race lead, and oh! Smoke! Mansell, again, from the race lead, as Olivier Grouillard in the Motordrome has gone off the track. That was the front metal. But Mansell will be not concerned about that. He will be concerned about what is coming out of his engine. Again, just like in Monaco, he's retiring from the race leads, and Senna will inherit P1. And now back to our battle, where Berger has properly caught up, but as well as Mansell, he is having technical issues. Black smoke coming out of his mirror engine, and the Cesaris is trying it into the second chicane. He's getting more and more desperate, and apparently Berger hasn't realized that his engine is dying quite spectacularly, and oh, now a lot of white smoke, and that is now properly it. He doesn't even make it back to the pit lane, retires in the forest, and that moves us up to P2. Well, not the Berger incident, but the Mansell incident. We are in P2. Only Ayrton Senna is ahead of us, leading this race by quite some margin. But even if the Cesaris passes us now, we still be on the podium. But of course, if we can get P2, we are trying to get P2. We haven't fought until now to just give it away. That would be 6 points. And by 1991 standards, that is spectacular. But still, you can see the Cesaris. Again, we force him towards the outside. And again, still, he is not forcing the move. I think he could do more. But I think we both also know how high the stakes are. It would be a second consecutive third in total podium for Jordan in their debut season. And of course, for us, it would be the very first podium both for Pierluigi Martini and Minardi. So, I am not prepared to take a huge risk that may end us this race, but I'm also not prepared to just wave the Cesaris by. This is a difference of scoring 6 points or 4 points, and this may not sound much by today's standards, but in 1991 it was 6 points. That could be the difference of finishing 12th in the championship or 7th in the end. And again, you see it. Right hand mirror. Well, now you don't see it anymore, but you were able to see it there ahead of the Sachskurve. Again, the Cesaris is looking, trying to put the pressure on, maybe even trying to force a mistake. But as we cross the line now, only 2 more laps to go. Slowly, he's also putting the pressure on the start-finish straight, as again, he's having a little look. But again, he backs out, and again, I leave him a lot of room there. We don't want to end this like Silverstone, Hamilton, and Verstappen 2021. So, it is gloves off, but still a cautious approach from both of us. He was having a little look there on the inside, as this time I didn't defend it for whatever reason. But it's now only 1.5 laps. 1.5 laps between us and a podium finish for Minardi. Second chicane. This is also one where it could go terribly wrong. It hasn't. Only one more time we need to take that awkward chicane and we would be through. Still watching the mirrors. No green car appearing. Final chicane for the penultimate time. It's looking good. And again, checking the left mirror. Checking the right mirror. Entering the stadium. Leaving a bit much space on the inside. The Cesaris didn't try to cut down there. And around the final corner we go to start the last lap of what so far is the greatest day in the history of the Minardi Formula 1 team. The Cesaris again having a little look down the inside of turn 1, and I think that was a big mistake from him. Again, we defend round the outside, and he didn't get a good exit. He compromised his exit out of the Nordkurve, and now there is no opportunity at the corner where he was closest all race to pull a move off, where he did even pull one off early in this race, which we put right later by overtaking ahead of the second chicane, which is coming up now. One final time through an awkward corner. Let's just hope the Cesaris is not getting desperate and still remembers what this is about. It's looking good. It's looking good. Oh, I take it a bit too fast almost. Getting very close to the exit curve, but it's all still looking good. We survived this one. And now it's just one more chicane and the stadium section. And I'm very sure if we stay ahead of the Cesaris into the stadium section, there is nothing he can do. And it is looking absolutely perfect. He's not there. Checking the mirrors. Left, right, left, right. Where is the Jordan? Not there is the answer. Into the stadium we go. 3 more corners to go. No, 4 more corners to go. 3. And ladies and gentlemen, it's mission accomplished. It's a podium for a Minardi in Formula 1. Get in there, come on. Yes. Oh, yes. Fantastic. P2. Awesome. And with that, let's look at the point scorers of today. And it was a dominant victory by Ayrton Senna, who wins almost 40 seconds ahead of us and Andrea De Cesaris. De Cesaris' teammate Gachot also finished in the points, making this a Jordan double points finish, and it was also a double points finish for Ferrari with a lazy 4th and Prost 6th. And the situation in the Drivers' Championship could not be more interesting at the halfway point of this season. Mansell and Senna equal on points. Mansell ahead on countback because he has one race win more than the McLaren driver. De Cesaris moves up to 4th. Berger still in 5th. And we are up to P6. Only for the moment. And as you can see on the second page, it is also just on countback because of that podium finish. But still, P6 out of PK, Prost, and a lazy Gachot up to 9th. Moreno in 11th, the final point scorer so far. And in the constructors, Williams are still leading from McLaren, Jordan still in 3rd, Ferrari now 4th, and then it is Benetton and Minardi, the final teams that have scored points so far. And that has been it for the German Grand Prix, and actually the first half of our 1991 season. There still are 6 races to come, and if the first 6 are anything to go by, you should definitely not miss them. So, subscribe, leave a like if you enjoyed this one. I hope to see you all at the next race in Belgium, and until then, goodbye.